U.S. intelligence specialists have reviewed the 8 years of the Iran-Iraq War. Their conclusion, the Iraqi army, while a formidable force, did not cover itself with glory. So even though both Secretary Cheney and General Powell refer often to the million men, they are not troubled by it.
I'm not trying to match them man for man.
The reason? Pentagon officials believe that only 200,000 Iraqi soldiers are well trained, and only 500 Soviet-made tanks are equal to U.S. tanks. And the Pentagon assessment of the Iraqi Air Force? Superior U.S. fighters and pilots could destroy it in one day. The reason? The Iraqi pilots take no initiatives in the air, have little training, and inferior missiles. The much vaunted Iraqi Scud missile force is somewhat more respected, but is not considered a serious threat. The reason? The missiles are very inaccurate, and those that do come close will be met by a top-secret weapon, a new version of the old Patriot missile, sent for the first time outside the United States, which can shoot down Iraqi missiles. U.S. intelligence does not believe the Scud missiles are configured to deliver poison gas. Only Iraqi artillery and aircraft can launch gas attacks. U.S. soldiers are not in range of Iraqi artillery, and U.S. radar surveillance with AWACS aircraft is so intense, one official said every plane becomes a target the moment it lifts off the ground anywhere in Iraq.
From Paris to Tehran, Tel Aviv to Tokyo, there appears to be only one spot on the map that matters: the Middle East. BBC television devotes just about its entire newscast to the Gulf, not just because it's a big story, but because it's a personal one.
Good evening. The headlines at 6 o'clock. More than 120 Britons have now been seized by the Iraqis.
Iraq is where many reporters want to be, but until today, the British have been denied entry.
In television terms, we're finding it desperately difficult to illustrate. We've got virtually no pictures from Kuwait or Iraq, only old library file footage.
The British press has been generally careful to avoid the language of confrontation, except the tabloids. Their editors say referring to Saddam Hussein as the desert rat and Western hostages as human sandbags simply reflects the public mood. For the British, say the tabloids, Iraq is a four-letter word. Swarms of foreign reporters have descended on Jordan, a listening post for the Middle East. Jordan has a large Palestinian population. For them, Saddam Hussein is a hero, the deposed Kuwaiti emir corrupt, and Uncle Sam an unwelcome intruder.
Our purposes are to present the truth, if there is one, as it is, but also to show the other side of the story, which unfortunately hasn't been forthcoming by Western news agencies.
In the Soviet Union, it's reporting as usual. Foreign news rarely gets top billing unless President Gorbachev is making it. The priority here, grain imports, not the Gulf. The Japanese have hostages in Iraq, but other news is getting equal time. The Japanese are talking softly about the Gulf and carrying a big stick, though it's not quite the big stick President Bush had in mind.